Hello, everyone, and welcome back finally to Rise of the Runelords. We've had a bit of a pause, and it is session 74. In the previous session, you continued your um, you continued your siege of Fort Rannoch, taking back taking back the fort from the brood of ogres that had overrun the place. And though though you found success with the last ogre falling, so too did one of your own. There is no time to mourn yet, however, as a separate chance meeting is playing out elsewhere. So, um, setting this up, I think I want that one going. I want that one not going. Oh, okay. Um, Now, this is a familiar area, but we will be heading to a new location. Um, uh, Marshall,
Mm-hmm.
on your approach to the Shimmerglens, you you are pondering how in a Goron's life there is a time where safety and progeny are more important than anything else. And right now, that is that is your time.
Indeed.
You wish to return to your homeland, of course, um, and make sure that that homeland is fit for your progeny. Uh, Tell us in this reign as you approach. Tell us you and your little companion. Tell us what we would see.
Sure. So Marshall himself has a face that could quite literally just be described as a head such face fully made of leaves. Um, with kind of two uh beady eyes in the center of the leaves, no visible nose or mouth, even ears really, just all a shade of dark green. He does have like some branches kind of from the top of his head that one could almost mistake as horns or antlers, but it's very much like tree bark. Um he is wearing a set of studded leather. Um he has a heavy shield on his back with a sword behind it, sheathed behind it. Um, Underneath the armor, he's mostly made out of, or appears to be made out of wood and bark, as a almost like a living tree. Um, and next to him, uh, walks on four vines a large, almost man-sized carnivorous plant. If you've seen the Chomper from um Plants vs Zombies, Plants vs Zombies, the shooter games, how you can play the Chomper, it looks like that. Walking around on vines, has a giant gaping maw with jagged sharp teeth that is just walking directly next to him. This massive carnivorous plant. And his name is Mr. Bitey.
Marshall and Mr. Bitey. A wonderful, a wonderful duo. However, you're not a duo at present, are you?
Hmm.
You do have some company.
Mm-hmm.
And while one of those that you have tentatively kept in your retinue is off, presumably hunting, the other is present. Perhaps walking ahead, perhaps walking behind. You do have a human with you. No chlorophyll to be seen. Would this man like to give a description and a motivation for us?
Absolutely. Yes. The man standing next to Marshall is Jasper Castle. He's wearing simple robes. The mark on his tabard is that of a Ouroboros. And he seems well kept enough, but uh, it's very clear that he came from a very simple life. And he kind of looks at the map that was left to him and says, "The Shimmer Glen should be just around this curve in the road."
Marshall will kind of pipe up and say, wonderful, then let us keep moving. And where for a normal human, a mouth would open and close and speak the words, all that you would see in his face is the leaves just kind of ruffle a little bit as he speaks. There's no visible mouth.
All right.
Incredible. Um, yes, and the three of you keeping pace with the trail as to make sure that your additional member is able to easily find you again. Make your way up Old Sanos Trail. Now, Marshall, you have been here before, obviously. This is your homeland. And while glens and marshes and areas nearby water are not unfamiliar to rain and storm, this one feels persistent.
Uh-huh.
Hard to tell what this means.
May I do a nature roll, perchance?
You may.
To just discern it a bit more, maybe?
Yes.
12.
A 12. Um, well, a 12 isn't awful, admittedly. I think the mic is picking up my book rustling.
I can't hear it, so you're good.
Wonderful. Yeah, I suppose with a 12, you're uncertain of the genesis of this storm.
Hmm.
Sometimes there are magics involved. All you really know is that it feels a little out of season and unnaturally constituted. It should have petered out by now. That's about the extent of your knowledge in this
Mm-hmm.
instance.
I think while they're walking, Marshall would say, odd rains in this area. Make sure to keep your eyes peeled as we move forward.
Yes, Marshall. What's odd about it?
Hmm. I don't believe it should have lasted this long. The storm should have passed a while ago now. But it still
Okay.
persists.
All right, yeah, I'll keep an eye out. I'm not sure for what, but I'll keep my eyes open.
Wonderful.
Do do Gorons and carnivorous plants like this rain, or is it sorry, just still curious.
We do not mind it. It is just going on for a lot longer than we would expect.
All right, that's fair.
Marshall will keep walking and just keep paying attention to the weather as they move.
I think Jasper will do his best to keep an eye out uh, on their surroundings, scanning mostly in a 180-degree angle.
Understood. I guess give me a perception check. 20. Okay. You keep your vision at a wide berth and take note of the surroundings. being cautious not to let a raindrop fall into your eye.
Probably keeping my hands cupped over my eyes so that it's like a visor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You don't spot anything. It seems relatively clear in the roads ahead. Seems, despite the storm, luck is somewhat on your side.
Well, as long as we're not getting stormed out, then I guess keep moving.
Mm-hmm. And that you do. The road that you're on uh, begins to fall before you as you head down the hill into the glen at the end of Sanos Forest. The glen is quite light as far as glens are known to be. Uh, that is likely due to the the handiwork of man. Um, with this road indeed cutting through. But to the left and the right are more familiar greenery. And if not for the gray skies, would be such a welcome to you, Marshall. Um, I would like both of you to make an additional perception check.
Understood.
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
I not roll.
23.
There it is. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna be honest. That 34 is technically the first one because I said, "Did mine not go through?" And then I clicked it again.
Okay.
So technically,
I mean, that's believable, right? This is like your stomping grounds. You know what to look for.
the 34 was the first one that I clicked. It just didn't go through.
It wouldn't be Runelords without somebody rolling a ridiculously high perception.
Um,
You
so
can take the 16, but I know which one went through first because I audibly said it.
with the 23 and a 34, you look up across the Shimmer Glens and to the Kriegwood on the far side of the river, and of course to Claybottom Lake. Now, Marshall, you know that there is a settlement nearby. It is not quite in view for you, but it is certainly intriguing. As this storm, it's storming everywhere. It is raining all over the the uh the hinterlands here. But over where you know that humanoid settlement to be is an especially dense patch of downpour. It just seems to be a gradient that gets denser the closer it is to that settlement. Uh, um, oh, names. Jasper, you also notice this. Um, you don't necessarily know about that settlement, but you can see that it's odd where the density of this storm takes place. Marshall, some additional things that you spot. There are trees in the way. There are also open greenery areas, grasslands down here. Um, but something really gives you pause. You know, it is such a shame for the humanoid uh, civilization. Uh, you know, if a random act of nature decides to swallow the city, it is such a shame. But life goes on. However, the life that you are looking for is a little more threatened as you're able to see Claybottom Lake and the river in between such and Lake Cole is, well, it's spilling out of its banks. It's flooding. This can't be good for the Shimmerglens.
No, and I think Marshall, as they take this pause, um, sees, across the way, notices where the patch of rain is over the settlement. Um, and says, "That settlement will not last long. It appears that nature will be taking it back soon. But even more worrying, it seems that nature is angry with the entire surroundings. These woods may be flooded over. This is not good."
Jasper looks like he's kind of conflicted between uh, helping where he knows you want to set up and like going to the settlement and helping them out. But he turns to you and says, "All right, what's the call, Marshal?"
He thinks for a moment, kind of looking at the rain, looking at the flooding, says, "We will investigate where we can, but if there is nothing we can do, we must move on for the safety of what my future holds."
Right. I'm thinking that maybe it has something to do with that flooding settlement over there. The rain seems thicker there, darker.
We shall see what we can learn.
All right.
And he will, yes, continue walking. Maybe another warrior or whoever would have pulled the sword from his back already and gotten his shield ready, but he does not. He continues walking very still, very matter-of-factly. And Mr. Bitey's just along for the ride. While Marshall was probably looking at the rain. I like to imagine Mr. Bitey is just is this horrifying, giant carnivorous plant can swallow you whole, but despite being a living plant, has the mind of like a puppy dog, and so he's probably just splashing in the puddles as the two of them look at the rain, and so he probably does this. As they're walking, Marshall probably lets this whistle out, which sounds more uh like the rippling of the wind rather than a pure whistle, and the large, fanged mouth of the carnivorous plant immediately turns to and runs to his side. Because what's better than a giant man-eating plant than a giant man-eating plant that is also a puppy, you know?
True. And boy, Mr. Bitey does not give a damn about the rain. Especially now that Mr. Bitey is mobile. He had some concerns in the past for water, as plants are absolutely capable of being drowned. But Mr. Bitey has a one-up on all of his friends.
Oh, yes.
He's got legs now.
Not
And
just
he is...
legs, though. Not just legs. The best part about Mr. Bitey is he was once a small carnivorous plant. Through the generations of Marshall's family, he was small. He's medium now. He went from a puppy plant to a, Tibetan Mastiff plant, but just still acts like a puppy.
Yes, and it is incredible. The amount of growth that this little one has had. And he does. He comes up right to your side, trained very well throughout the generations, and is awaiting your orders. Jasper,
Yes.
if you are to investigate, this is a little bit out of the way you were intending. Would you leave a note or some signage? How would you handle your missing partner?
I would leave a. Oh, okay. I would go to the nearest tree that's like right at the edge of the Shimmer Glens,
Sure.
and with just my middle finger, I'll just like punch holes into the tree so that like little bits of bark just fly off, but you can see like this pattern of dots. And I'll leave that as the communication to my companion. And basically,
Incredible.
it'll tell them, "Hey, we're heading forward. There's a dark spot of rain, and we're thinking of investigating it."
Give me a flat strength roll, I think.
A flat strength. If I can attack with dexterity, may I make a dexterity check instead?
Yes, you may,
All right, dexterity. Here we go.
using your specific talents.
Yes.
18. Okay. You're able to leave your simplistic, semi-coded message without too much issue. It does hurt, you know, The trees are not fleshy like the things you are used to fighting. Um, and the wood grabs your own flesh in a way that armor wouldn't. Um, so it does ding up your hands, but not quite enough to leave any lasting damage. But you have indeed left a message for your partner.
Sounds good.
Okay. I'm assuming you will make your way forward then. Would you be
Yes.
heading further into the glens to get a better look and perhaps cross the streams when you get to it? Or would you take the man's path and cross the river where they have built?
Marshall would definitely be more of the walking through nature, uh, using roads only when we have to. So as we walk the glens, if there's a visible crossing through the short bit of river that we could do rather than the road, Marshall would be going for that instead.
All right, so we're kind of heading in this direction towards White Willow then.
Mm-hmm. Which would also
Okay.
give better view of the uh, torrential forever downpour.
Okay.
Okay, so you do begin your trek into the Shimmer Glens. Uh, as you begin your trek, and you are, you know, careful of the more marshy areas, more swampy areas, you notice almost fey-like aberrations in the trees and in the marshes and down in little crags. Jasper, it is pretty beautiful in here. You can see why Marshall wishes to bed down here.
Okay, yeah.
Um,
Um,
Now, while while you are traversing carefully under the guide of Marshall, who may not know every square foot of the Shimmer Glens, definitely knows his way around. Ren,
Yes. Can you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you. You're not sure you exactly envisioned yourself as a traveler, though you've certainly got the spiritual backing for it.
Right.
Um, right now, you've opted to take a bit of a rest. And you're in a small tavern waiting for a local storm to subside. It's a bit dark in here, and Sleep tugs at you a little bit as you kind of nod while sitting at your table. It's not too busy, there's no music playing. The whole settlement that you find yourself in is rather small anyway.
Mm.
But you found yourself in Bitter Hollow. And as you nurse a drink, whether alcoholic or not is yours to decide.
Non-alcoholic, please.
Non-alcoholic, of course.
Mm.
While few, they do have options.
Water works.
Yes, you are nursing your water. Gotta stay hydrated.
Mm-hmm.
And nodding off a little bit. First of all, tell us about who we see. Tell us who
Well,
is nodding off at this table.
well, a very slight figure sits at the table, wayfish, although dressed in some medium armor, a breastplate that is strangely black yet almost see-through, not quite, and deep blue skin with eyes of blue and black, hair is purple, and cheekbones are high and delicate features, and delicate and sharp, very androgynous. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
And now they heave a sigh. They're still wet from the road, and not their best, not their most comfortable way to be, but quickly drying off in next to a fire of some sort, I'm assuming.
No, not the most comfortable, but indeed, there is a fire, and it is cozy in here.
Wonderful.
Quaint, small, and indeed cozy.
I imagine they're nibbling on whatever the meal of the night is as well, having just got off the road.
Mm-hmm. And trying to fight that sleep and falling face first into that meal. Um,
Whoop. Hmm. Like kind of pinching their cheek to try and stay awake.
you fight you fight off the drowsiness. Give me
Ooh, my first roll.
what is your class skill? Okay.
Class skill.
Not anything specific, just like what is
One of
relevant
my class
to
skills. Oh,
you.
I understand. Um,
It looks like
well,
wisdom is kind of your
yeah,
go-to.
wisdom's kind of my thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I do have a little bit of knowledge there. My highest skill is 18 diplomacy.
Diplomacy.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
Also a pretty high
Okay.
sense motive as well. 16.
Well, I think I will have you. Yeah, I want you to give me a sense motive. Out
Okay.
in the open, not secret. 31. You pinch away the drowsiness, hoping to actually get through your meal, but you can recall a few seconds ago, it wasn't entirely lost to you, the effectively micro dream playing behind your still open eyes.
Quite adept at noticing those dreams, however brief they are.
And notice you did a bit of divine preternatural strings. You see a bit of fate happening, though it is indeed brief. Perhaps going outside is a pain, and perhaps you might wish for fate to wait just another day.
Let the rain go a little bit, please. But they know that's not how it goes. So they finish the last of the broth of their stew. Sop it up with a little bit of the bread, if that's what's going on, and finish up their meal, down the rest of their water, and get ready for some more water.
Mm-hmm.
This time falling from the sky.
This time from the sky.
A heavy sigh as they walk out the tiny, tiny bar.
A tiny bar out of Bitter Hollow. Um, you bid farewell to the hunters and trappers of the area and begin to follow those tugs that you felt in your dream, heading down the road in a southeaster direction,
Mm-hmm.
unaware of what you may or may not find.
Indeed. The divine works that way. They're very secretive.
Frustratingly so.
Oh, yeah. Agreed. But I still love them.
Okay. Marshall and Mr. Bitey, it is a little difficult to trudge through the more wet areas.
Hey, you ready? You ready to hear some? It's
Absolutely.
fun fact. It's not. Any area that has natural thorns, briars, is overgrown, or similar terrain, we move perfectly fine without any impairment.
That is excellent news.
So if it's swampish like area, or is like I like the what I'm kind of imagining is the swamplands that have the very like it is ground, but it's like if you put your full weight into it, you'll go right through it, and you'll be in water. I'm kind of picturing it like that. Yeah, like it gives like I'm kind of picturing it like that. Maybe Jasper is actually in the water waiting through it or whatnot, and Mr. Bitey and Marshall, they're just gliding across the top of it. Like they're directly walking on top of it, since it this nature does not compare them. They're kind of one with it, if you will.
Yes, the plants themselves, while maybe physically in your way, glide and blend into the both of your forms and almost assist you in pushing you forward. Jasper, you don't have as much luck, and while Marshall has been kind enough to guide you to the best places to walk, you are slowed a bit.
I suppose that makes sense.
Uh,
I think as they're kind of walking, um, Marshall kind of just, says, "Oh, this land, all of it, is rather beautiful, especially so when it is not at risk of being flooded over with torrential rains and catastrophe from the lake."
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
I was just
like,
gonna say all the while, yeah,
Jasper's like trudging,
like,
like, yep,
like,
whatever
yeah,
you
like,
say, man.
like waist deep in muck, all the while he's just walking on the top of it. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
you're doing your best, Jasper. Um, that being said, I will reorient. Um, Marshall,
Hmm.
what do you have for skills? Let me see.
Oh, I have a lot. Something special about me is I'm quite literally knowledgeable in everything knowledgeable. I might not have ranks in some of them, but I got all of them.
Incredible. Um, yeah, this is interesting. I gotta look this up. Thank you. Technically. Might be that.
Technically,
Technically. Oh, that still works anyway. Okay. Uh, give me a knowledge nature.
okay, I would love to do that. 21.
21. Now you know from earlier parts of your life that the Shimmer Glens are infused uh, with fey magic and fey creatures. The veil between the material realm and the first world is thin here, and you you expect to see. Sorry, I just got an insane text. I'm not sure what's going on. I think my girlfriend is going insane.
Oh, lovely. Do you want to pause?
No, it's not that serious.
Okay.
I lost my train of thought. Um,
Fey
Shimmerglen's
creatures.
fey creatures,
What
21
you're gonna
knowledge.
see?
looks magical, 21 knowledge. And yeah, you definitely expect, especially deep into the Shimmer Glens, things to get more magical and less naturey, though of course it is all together.
Mhm.
However, things things seem a little capricious.
Okay.
the plants, while working with you, with your movement and such, seem to gesture oddly at you in a way that you, plant as you are, can recognize as perhaps not evil, but malicious. Malicious in a way that a thorn in the paw of a bear may make it go rampaging when it would otherwise be relatively docile.
Hmm. Um, so Marshall is going to pause for a moment and even say that out loud, let us pause for a moment here. And
Oh, thank the gods.
he is going to reach down and, touch the plants and the foliage around him. And something very fun. I mean, it's only in a small area, but this does say you determine whether creature, object, or area. As I reach down,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cast Detect Poison. See if
Detect
the
poison.
area has been, well, poisoned. Anything of that
Determine whether
nature.
creature, object, or area has been poisoned or is poisonous. You can determine the exact type of poison. Okay. Very good. Got it. Okay. Mm, would it count as a poison, though?
That is up to you to decide if it is something sickening the plant, something making it, or if it's like a disease, that's not a poison,
Mm-hmm.
or if it's a curse, that's not a poison.
Right.
Although I guess depending on how you could say, something seeping into the roots and darkening the vibes could be a poison onto the earth. But, that's getting
That's
into
true.
semantics.
I will say, okay. So, faced with what you can see of the Shimmerglands as a kind of eruption, and while this won't give you specifics, it does cut some options out.
Mm-hmm.
No, there is no poison in this. There is something else happening.
Hmm. And you described it as if the plants were like a thorn in the side of a bear's paw.
More like the plants are the
Are the
bear,
bear, yeah.
but yes, that is how you read the plants in here. As you get closer to whatever the epicenter is for this issue.
Mm-hmm.
It seems if you want the Shimmerglen safe, uh, there's going to be more difficulty than what you've spotted.
I think Marshall will say there is something deeply wrong with this, something deeply wrong with my home. These plants act as if there is a newfound fury. I do not know if they will... They might treat me better than they may treat one such as yourself. But we should go about finding our crossing sooner rather than later, for the sake of our party.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Uh, yeah. All right. River's that way, I think.
And Marshall will look towards the river to see if there is a close enough crossing so that we do not have to move through the angered plant life. If you want to roll for that, or if we just find one.
Sorry, I was a little sidetracked. Please do tell me what you are up to.
I said that we should not keep going forward because while the plants might be nice to me, they might tear Jasper to shreds, and that we should find a closer crossing across the river. And we both looked in the direction of the river, and then I asked, can I see a close enough crossing where we don't have to go further in the Shimmer Glens, and if you wanted a roll for it.
Ah. Right, okay. I'm gonna say give me a survival as the three of you more closely approach the new banks of the river.
I have something so silly I want to ask.
Please do.
And Mr. Bitey roll 2, he has survival.
Yeah, Mr. Bitey can roll.
Wonderful.
Would you like to do those separate or as an aid?
I would like to do them. I think unless it's a serious enough time, I think I would always like to roll separate for Mr. Bitey for specific things because he only has a check mark in specific things. I think it would be really funny because he can act as his own. He is
Yeah,
fully
of
his
course.
own creature, so he could like do the the pointer dog thing of pointing in a direction if we fail. So for this, I would love to roll separately. I will roll Marshall first, and then Mr. Bitey second.
Nose down to the ground, walking forward, and it sounds like a bunch of rustling leaves
Mhm.
instead.
So here's Marshall's. You said survival, right? Yes.
I did say survival because rather than trying to spot something, it's more about feeling out the terrain itself.
Okay, so here's Marshall's survival, and then here's Mr. Bitey's.
Okay. So between the two of you, you are able to find what should be a reasonable crossing, made a bit more dangerous by the flooding.
Mm-hmm.
It'll take it will take some skill to get across. However, it is still entirely possible.
Are the waters...
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
Are the waters... So it is flooding over, but is it just a, flooding over on the banks, or is it like... Has the river and the waters, have they turned raging? Or is it like rapids, or is it just, excess of water that we have to wade through?
It's a bit stronger.
Mhm.
Even tiny tributaries can become strong uh, with uh, with additional waters flowing through it. Um, you could very well be washed away by this,
Okay.
which I feel like should be going south, but I'm just gonna make it because of the Skulls Crossing area. this particular river goes north. So Lake Cole is a bit lower than Clay Bottom.
Mm-hmm. Understood.
Rivers don't need to flow south. That's all a coincidence.
The myth.
Not quite a myth. I mean, some of them flow north anyway.
Like the Galarian
Not the
moon
point.
landing.
And the ones that go west, also east.
Oh yeah, that's true. 'Tis a myth that all rivers go south.
Marshall doesn't
Anyway.
believe in flowing rivers. Sorry, Jasper.
Yeah. Jasper, after your crew, or I guess your boss in a way, halts you and talks about the situation in the area, you are very likely relieved to not be heading further into that Shimmerfest. But now, as you come across the banks of the river, you see Mr. Bitey and Marshall figuring out a plan on how to get across. And while less sentient, this river seems to also pose some challenges.
Mm. All right. Well, I guess we just make a break for it, or how do you want to do this?
How far is the other side from our bank to the other bank in feet? Would you say?
Ooh, yeah. Hold on. Um, Boy, I am not good at spitballing how wide a river is. I am so scared to say a number and it's gonna be like stupid.
Oh,
It's 100 feet.
we could
It's
jump
100
across
feet
that with
across. Is that
one
big? Is that
step.
small?
Yeah.
Um, it's big enough, I will say, that you would have to have like a couple waypoints, 2 or 3 waypoints to get you across to the other side, especially with it widened at its current point.
Okay.
I will say that point is here. So, yeah, I suppose about 60 to 80 feet across.
Okay. I mean, you could always go off of real life rivers. Just for curiosity, I looked up the at its widest, the width of the Hudson River is something like 3.9 miles long.
Okay, well, it's not several miles long. Um,
But that's the widest of the Hudson.
yeah, that's true. I also tried to look up river statistics and it just gave me length and never width. So,
Hmm. Okay. Um. Let us see. think I did have a thing, but then I reread that thing, and then I don't have that thing.
Oh.
'Cause it
Do you think
only
you'll be able to make it across the river with 80 feet?
let me read something. Marshall will say, good things lead in a direction that we do not like. I just need to find myself able to touch the ground, and we shall be fine.
Oh, okay, so in theory, if you were able to just crawl along the bottom of the river where it's not as ferocious as the surface, where I will be, you should be fine.
One could say yes.
Okay. Um, Jasper's like judging whether or not he should go first, or if hey, you stop speaking that. Or if you should go first. That way, if Jasper's ward gets swept up river, he can chase you.
Uh, Marshall will, very deadpan, but also almost kind of a joke, will say, I may be made of different material than you, but I do know how to swim.
Oh no, I wasn't trying to assume. It's just that you said if you could touch the ground, you know,
Yes,
then you would be good. But
that
I
is
can't do
the
that.
worst scenario.
Okay.
If things were to go bad.
All right. Marshall, do you want to swim first, swim last, or swim together?
Let us go together.
Ooh, all right, here we go. Jasper starts stretching, and the intent here, mechanically speaking, is right before he hits the water, he'll spend a swift action to give himself the rogue talent strong stroke. So that basically gives me advantage on swim checks.
Okay, sweet. Is it actually the roll to take higher, or is it like some kind of bonus?
Yeah, the way it's phrased is roll to take higher.
Okay, yeah.
Roll
No,
rolls
that's
twice
fine.
and making swim checks. Yeah.
I do know that those exist. I know it's not called advantage.
I wonder if it's actually more than the summary here. Oh no, there's more if I already had that ability, but yeah, it's just advantage.
Okay.
And so fun fact, Mr. Bitey also has swim. So as we go to walk in a very almost fatherly way, Marshall does get down on one knee, and Mr. Bitey will kind of clamber onto his back, almost looking like a bulb growing out of a flower. Um, and I would love it if I could have Mr. Bitey assist me in manner of using his back little vine legs as almost extra propellant in while we swim.
I think that is a wonderfully creative idea, and I will accept that.
Wonderful. Tell me how aiding
Oh,
works, and I will do my rolls.
yeah. Okay. That's interesting. Mr. Bitey.
Yeah, Mr.
Such a
Bitey.
I
cutie.
freaking love Mr. Bitey. I'm all about it.
He's got a really good swim
So,
too.
uh, I think I have Pathfinder aid a little different than I do
Mhm.
Starfinder. If I remember correctly, you are giving uh your or Mr. Bitey's, oh, what was it? It was base score or base mod plus ranks, and then ignore all the other components like uh class skill.
Okay,
So in your
so
case, for swim, it's 8 because it's 4 plus 1 plus the 3 from class skill. So you would just be giving Marshall a plus 5.
okay,
I
so
shouldn't say just because plus 5 is pretty sweet.
yeah, that's pretty good. So I'll roll my swim at a +5.
Correct.
One moment. 25.
25. Okay. Um, are you lending any assistance to Jasper, or do you have faith in him?
I have faith in the people that I hired.
Yeah, you know what? That's so fair.
Because if I
Okay.
did not have faith in them, why would I give them my money?
All right, Jasper. Give me some
We were
swim
in paid up
checks.
front.
And if you don't have
All
any
right.
in them, they must drown.
All right, here's the first one. Oh, I might not need
First
the
one.
second one.
Give me the second one.
Okay.
Okay. Ironically, a stroke of luck, a backstroke of luck. Um, Rapids are not your favorite place to be, but you do know how to swim, and calling upon your training, you implement some of the skills that you have learned. And in your turmoil as you cross this river, and it does indeed drag you down a ways, um, Jasper, you are able to prove yourself as a viable uh, man at arms. Meanwhile, Marshall and Mr. Bitey, again, still dealing with the current as it would be unnatural not to. Uh, you are able to navigate to the other side and find Jasper along with you. Um, I don't even think this requires a perception check. I guess because of distractions, I will have Jasper and Marshall roll perception checks. Ren, it's a little more obvious to you that a
Yeah.
few strangers have made their way out of the rapids.
Wow.
Jasper, you are simply dealing with the extra exerted energy that you gave trying to
Yeah.
get across the river. Marshall,
Mhm.
this is pretty typical.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not typical, but in your wheelhouse.
Hmm.
And looking around, you do spot a perhaps uh not angelic in a literal sense, a rather angelic figure approaching down the road,
Hello,
Um,
friends.
glancing curiously.
there's definitely as they see this figure, there's definitely a to Jasper, like, to attention, like Marshall says, to attention, and points in the way. For the other figure, if you would allow this little bit of RP, Mr. Bitey does not get down from Marshall's back. He's fully kind of like the two front vines that he walks on are kind of strapped over his shoulders like backpack arms, and the two bottom vines are kind of like wrapped around his waist, and his head ears over the shoulder of Marshall, so it looks like, to this other figure, it looks like Marshall has two heads, one that is just made of leaves, and this other that is just a full-blown carnivorous plant.
I would like to make a a check, a perception in RP perception, to see what I see from this kind of far distance here. Let me just, so it's perception, so +6.
What are you going for specifically?
I mean, it looks weird as hell. I'm trying to get a better look at it.
Oh, you're trying to more decipher? Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have knowledge nature.
Yeah, I don't. It's true.
It's possible you might be able to get something off of survival. I would say sense motive, but you have no
It's far away. Like that's
far
why I
away,
was
yeah.
thinking. That's why I was thinking perception, to see if I could even see, like. But if you, but I'll do it. Survival too. Survival works.
I think
See where the plant
as far
ends
as
and the plant
perception,
begins.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Where the, yeah. I mean, and I assume it's probably a pretty steep thing to roll, but they desire to try. So
Yeah.
survival.
I will give a survival
All right.
based on general plant knowledge. Okay. 12.
Oh.
Above average. Just a little above average, but still.
The DC's probably higher for this one.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Well,
Yeah.
let's see. A 12 for discernment.
I mean, it's an armored plant man with a carnivorous Venus flytrap out of his shoulder.
I think while you can very clearly see these two creatures in front of you, it's less plainly obvious if that is a third independent creature, or if the plant creature just happens to have two very independently mobile heads.
So I get enough to be more curious. Great.
Pretty much. Pretty much. I think that's the
so
best way to put it.
Are we talking night or what?
Not night.
Okay. Cool. So I will just continue to walk, looking as non-threatening as Ren can manage, which is not too hard.
Looking at Ren, does Jasper know what Ren is?
Unless pointed out, Jasper isn't quite paying attention.
I did.
Right, and also,
I did tell Jasper,
Yeah.
like, stand
Oh,
to
right,
attention.
you did stand. That's true.
and it's kind of hard to tell because I like a cloak. Now that they went
Right.
outside, they have a rain cloak on, and so discerning the facial features or anything about them is going to be real hard.
They're humanoid.
Okay.
They're
Humanoid.
medium-sized.
Right.
Okay.
Not
They look to
super
have
tall.
longer hair. but it's hard to tell
Okay.
bunched up in the cloak.
Right.
I guess the biggest clue, if anything, right, to as to what race you are is your skin, right? Can I see any
Yeah.
of that?
Well, it's kind of shadowed by the cloak, but
Okay.
I mean it's pretty pronounced. So like, it might from our distance with the rain distorting and the cloak, um, it might look like they're wearing some sort of cowl to cover their face,
Oh,
or,
okay.
or you don't know whether that's the case or whether it's just too shadowed for you to actually discern what's going on. So,
Okay, that's fair. I'm just trying to make the best RP reaction here to
Mhm.
protect Marshall. So
Indeed.
I'm just like trying to get cues here. So then I think my best shot at determining what to do here would be like a sense motive then, right? Going by your posture and your speed
Sure.
to determine that like you're not threatening.
Hmm. I think that sounds. Uh,
Now,
yeah.
thank you for giving me your sense motive bonus. I'm going to roll in secret.
Thank you. I was trying to remember.
Sense motive when trying to suss something out does happen in secret. Other sense
Okay.
motives for different things, like when Marshall was trying to assess, you know, it has different situations, but this is one of those
Okay.
that is in secret.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. And general DC is around sense motive. Okay. Um, as far as you can tell, this just seems like an interesting individual walking up the path. Uncomfortable as they may be, this feels like a chance encounter, not necessarily malicious.
He doesn't. They? He? I'm not sure. This person doesn't seem like they're up to any trouble.
Marshall will just quietly respond with, "Well, let us just make sure. Rather be safe than sorry with any newcomers we find amongst our path."
Right. Stranger, where are you headed?
Why, to find you, of course. I knew there was something I had to find out here.
Uh, me or
You,
uh,
you all. I didn't know who you were, but the goddess dragged me out here in this rain.
oh, well, then we have something in common. If this is true and you truly were sent to find us, could I ask for what reason?
Well, for now, there's there's shelter back there. Would would you want to get out of this rain?
I would very much like to, if my employer allows.
Not often one gets to see a man, people like you. Sir Plant.
Marshall's kind of looking back and forth towards the figure, the new figure, and towards where he knows the torrential rain is located. I am going to do a silly roll.
I think I know what the silly roll is.
The silly roll is going to be a, I'm just going to roll my flat intelligence.
Let me see the silly roll.
And my silly roll is, to determine, the silly roll, the result of the silly roll, I would like to ask the GM to decide whether Marshall feels like they should be going towards Turtleback and the GM wants to continue that side of the story, or if they want us to continue with the random stranger and go towards Bitter Hollow. That's going to be my silly roll that the GM gets to decide the answer for.
Okay.
Because I don't know if you want us going directly into everything, but there's just 3 of us right here. Even though Marshall might want to.
Intelligence 18. Wow.
Yeah, that's flat.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I guess I could have asked for another, like, if you wanted an actual roll, but Marshall himself is, like, judging and weighing the options. Like, looking forward towards the figure, listening to Jasper, deciding if we turn around, and then looking towards the torrential rain, and deciding if we should go that way instead, like originally planned.
Well, there is absolutely merit to understanding what may or may not be going on, whether or not you get involved. Perhaps even if you are to get involved in the settlement, perhaps it would still be wisest to wait for your hired hands to actually be there to do what you need them to do.
Mm-hmm. So, Marshall...
Effectively, probably don't charge into whatever is going on, but if you want to take a peek, that would suffice.
Okay. I know how to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Let me just read an ability real quick as I kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Literally, I find 2 birds. And that's our dinner.
It's kind of sick. Like, there's just 2 birds that he's collected, and like they're sitting there held down by Mr. Bitey. They're squawking, and he just fucking murders them right there. It's
right in front of everyone. I just grab a stone and boom.
That is
he's a plant. He's a plant. Does he even eat birds?
Yeah, I don't even need it. Mr. Bitey, on the other hand.
Anyway, continue.
Okay, so I am going to send Mr. Bitey towards Turtleback Ferry because I have an ability that, which is very funny considering token-wise, Bitey does not have eyeballs, but I have the ability to see through his vision. I can see through Mr. Bitey.
Okay.
So I'm
the
going to...
The sensation is different, certainly. It would probably be more difficult for someone to do the same if they were of flesh and blood versus your wooden sap.
Which is... I do want to say, mechanically, Mr. Bitey is not blind. He does have vision. But...
He does.
You know, a carnivorous plant does not have eyeballs. But I look towards Mr. Bitey, and if either of you two understand Sylvan, he says some words to Mr. Bitey in Sylvan.
Nope.
Nope.
So then you do not understand what he says, but you do know. A GM, what does? Because I like to describe it as a DM myself. What does Sylvan sound like? Because I'm curious what they hear as he speaks a language they don't understand.
Mhm.
I think much like nature itself, it flows in geometries, but still has harsh edges.
Mm-hmm.
I think in world celestial would be probably the most flowy, least harsh language, but Sylvan is pretty close.
Mm-hmm. So the other two, and you would now see Ren. Yeah, yes, the world on fire. Yes, uh, you would see this large bulb off this plant man's back that has sprouted this uh carnivorous plant mouth, detaches off of him and turns, like, begins walking on all four, like these four vines, um like a very happy large dog, as he flows this nature like language towards this plant creature. And he will send Mr. Bitey off through the woods towards Turtleback Ferry, um as he looks towards Jasper and the new figure and says, "Yes, let us get out of this rain, and we can make proper introductions when we are under a solid roof."
Wonderful. Just follow me back this way, and I'll show you.
Ren, you're so happy, I can imagine, to have found your fate so easily and able to bring them back to the fire.
A pleasant surprise. And the fact that they don't want to go anywhere but the fire is also much appreciated. And there's a gate in Ren's step as they go back. A little hop in the step.
Knowing that
Because
they're sorry, real quick, knowing that they're heading towards civilization, and Marshall being wary of civilization, he does wear a cloak of his own. And if I'm allowed to say, the cloak has a hood, he will kind of put it up over his head, to the best of his ability. I'd like to imagine he has likely cut out little bits of the hood to better fit his wear style. It's probably even a cloak he's made himself of leaves and other nature wear to fit his form. So he throws the hood over himself. The branches might still stick out a bit, but he does put it over himself to cover himself up. And you can go. Apologies, I just had to get that in there.
no worries.
No, I love that.
Yeah, they're really, really appreciative because it's not it's most of the time takes way longer. Like the trip here was just a slight tug, and the trip here lasted like a week or two. So, I mean, that adds to the happiness that Ren feels as they get to get back to the fire.
And that you do. It takes a bit of a walk, uh, but you do. You make it back to Bitter Hollow and the small, unnamed um, tavern, seemingly almost over capacity with the three of you entering in, aside a few additional patrons already there.
Is there either an empty booth and or a table at the far back corner of this room?
There is. There are a couple tables, no booths, a few bar stools, um, and there is a table that you would be able to commandeer nearest a corner.
Marshall would immediately go towards that one. and ready himself to take a seat,
Wonderful.
keeping an eye on everyone in the room as he walks.
Yes, and as your two fleshy humanoid friends likely gather close to the hearth, you wouldn't risk such a endeavor, but you do appreciate the warmth from the distance that you um, are at.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, the sensation of your external ocular vision comes across some very intriguing news.
Which, real quick, I will say that is something I have
Mhm.
to activate. So, as Jasper may not like it, Marshall does call you away from the fire and to his table and request that you guard him, as this ability will take him from this place and into the vision of Mr. Bitey himself.
All right, yeah, sure. I'll keep watch.
So, as Marshall gets ready to watch over him at his seat, he kind of goes quiet. His eyes kind of disappear into the leaf face, and if there's any sound beyond the um, rain outside, his body kind of gives off this quiet sound of a creaking tree. As I will activate my improved empathic link, which will allow me to see through a companion's eyes as a swift action. And I will. I am blinded while maintaining this connection. Um, I guess it does say as long as the companion is within 1 mile, but if you want to hand wave that for this moment. But
Just a little bit.
uh, I will, close my eyes. The sound of the creaking tree. He leaves his body, and his vision goes into Mr. Bitey's as he rounds Turtleback Ferry.
Yes. The
So you
amount
guys are.
of the amount of nature and trees and such connecting you two gives credence to an extension of your ability, and you are able to stretch that thread, albeit thin, to Mr. Bitey. Ren, you had something to say first.
I was gonna say, you guys are away from the. You guys are away from the fire. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay. So what happens is as we're going in, Ren drops her or their cloak and goes directly to the fire and just sits down in front of it, and then after a while realizes that the other people aren't near the fire, so they go over and watch what's transpiring, kind of half annoyedly, doesn't want to be by the fire, but
Right.
I
Marshall,
think.
as.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I think Jasper would see, um, would see Ren coming back from the fire and like giving us the look of like, oh, they're not here. Dang it! And you would see Jasper. You could see that he wants to be over there too. Doesn't take a sense motive check, but like he does a
Right.
small gesture. It's like, you know,
kind of a shrug, I imagine.
yeah. All right, go on.
Okay,
Sorry.
yes. Marshall, you activate your ability, and much akin to sleep. Feel the sensations, the perceptions in your own body shut down almost as you almost sway yourself like a tree. Um, and it all goes dark for a second before these green tendrils begin filling your vision. And I am gonna make that canon because Mr. Bitey does not have eyes. You pull back in, and as your field of view expands, you see the world around you. Green trees, green grass, a little more green though, with the water and the bark, and the skies even in front of you. And while this ability does give you access to vision, whatever that may be for the creature, um, you also get a bit of brass with some other sensations as well. And the first thing that hits you, and I don't actually know how Marshall handles food, but you get uh, a dull, warbled taste of what you believe to be a rabbit, as Mr. Bitey is munching as he trundles along.
I
And you can
think
hear the storm, though entirely warbled. It is not clear. You probably would not be able to make out speech uh, using this ability.
I think for the other two, if they're paying attention at all, or even if they just kind of glance over while they're talking, at the taste, because Marshall's very much a plant to his core. You know, he feeds off sunlight. So the taste of which Mr. Bitey does kind of also, however, he is also a carnivorous plant. So for the other two, if they were to look over at the taste of blood and something that he is not used to, um, there is definitely the leaves on his face definitely shift into a form that would look that would appear to be one of uh displeasure.
And as this occurs, Mr. Bitey rounds sort of the edge, the very edge of the creek wood, glancing over at this downpour on the settlement. And along the settlement, let me. Yeah, I think that's a good size. Through the green hazy mist of the downpour, Mr. Bitey spots something else. It's not that hard. It's quite hard to miss, I would say, as this large green tentacled snake-like creature is ravaging the town. Uh, it seems like the city has some time left, perhaps, but this creature will wreak havoc if left unchecked for too long.
I might regret this question, but I'm going to ask anyways. You did say that um even if it was a role play thing, you did say beyond the eyesight, I did get twinges of other senses within Mr. Bitey.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Bitey has the scent sense, like he has the monster ability scent.
Right.
Would that be able to anything flowing to Mr. Bitey? Is there anything large enough that would carry its way from what is currently happening with this creature and within Turtleback towards Mr. Bitey that might reach its way towards the senses of Marshall? Specifically with scent, if there's anything noticeable, if there's anything greater, or if it's just a scent of a town being destroyed, you know.
I think, and I absolutely will give you this. You know, all of the other senses outside of ocular are
Dulled.
severely muted,
Yeah.
and dulled, but this seems simply like the stench of destruction.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
as Mr. Bitey willing to turn around for his master and partner, we will have to see how that commences
Oh
in the next
boy.
session.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Indeed.
That looks like a boss fight.
Not to not to toot my own horn, you guys have some cool characters, but goddamn do I love my character.
Hell yeah, I love your character too, bro.
It looks
Oh, yeah.
very fun. It was a cool concept.
Um
Heck yeah.
that was a lot of fun. Guys, I think maybe we just forget about Turtleback. You know, let's just go elsewhere. You know, I know we've spent I know we've spent the upward of
Quickest nope
maybe
ever.
I know we've spent maybe upward of anything like maybe what 20 25 sessions here, and we have a lot of
Oh my
history
god.
here, but you know these are new characters who don't have history here,
Exactly.
and you know let's just go to the next book of the adventure, you know, guys.
Right, just skip over. That'll go.
I think I have to do the thing that Kenzie always does. What the hell does she say for the guild goodbye? I don't know. She does her own thing. Goodbye, recording.